The second thing that has not changed is that the current regime in Iran is still the world's largest exporter of terrorism and the greatest threat to peace and stability throughout that region. The ruling Iranian regime is an oppressive regime, as we all know. It's one that mixes theocracy with autocracy and extreme expansionist ideology, and one that continues to defy the international community. It is a regime that is intent on denying their own citizens the freedoms that they desire and that they deserve. The U.S. has encountered elements of this regime in every operation that we have conducted for the last 25 years. And it is a regime that is not there to help another country fight for freedom. It is there to impose their will on that regime whenever they can and wherever they can. We recently heard Secretary of Defense Panetta say or express concern regarding Iran's interference with the Maliki government in Iraq. So I think that now we have, in terms of Admiral Mike Mullins and in Secretary Leon Panetta, two individuals in the Pentagon that fully understand the threat that Iran poses to the region and to the United States' interests. Third is the oppression and the inequality of women by the current regime in Iran has not changed. It is deplorable. We know that women want equality, they want respect and the right to participate in all social and economic events, and they deserve to live their lives in a productive manner, one in which they can live with dignity, one, unfortunately, which is not their lot in Iran today. The current regime's theocratic manner of declaring women as intellectually and physically inferior to men is counter to women's rights, and it's counter to their expectations, as well as what is the right thing to do by that regime. Unfortunately, another thing that has not changed is that the largest, best organized resistance to Iran's current regime, the PMOI or the MEK, is still on the foreign terrorist list here in the United States. Our great ally, the UK, took them off the list in 2008, followed very quickly in 2009 by the EU. In the United States, we have former Ambassador Dale Daly, another colleague who is as the ambassador for counterterrorism to the State Department, and as an individual who commanded our Joint Special Operations Command, who knows more about terrorism and the various organizations in this country than anyone in the State Department today, also previously recommended that the MEK come off the FTO list. Our Congress has passed a resolution encouraging the State Department to take them off. And we've also seen in this process that the State Department, in spite of being told to provide it, has failed to provide any either classified or declassified information that states why the MEK should have been placed on the list in the first place. They also, as we know last week, exceeded the 180 days that they had been given by the court to produce evidence to substantiate their reasons why the MEK is on the list. I say, wake up, State Department. Take the MEK off the FTO list today. We in the United States have continued to fail to acknowledge our commitment to ensure the safety of the Ashraf residents, hiding behind the lame excuse that it is now an Iraqi problem. Ambassador Jeffrey in Iraq, his idea without any assurance or even any apparent concern, providing rationale as to why this is a good idea other than saying it moves it further away from the Iran border, is appalling. It causes me to stop and wonder, what is this man drinking? The Iranian influence on the Maliki government today has shown us that the Maliki government is incapable of providing the degree of protection for the Ashraf residents that they should be providing. It has shown that the Maliki government has a disdain for the Ashraf residents, because we see inhumane treatment of the Ashraf residents on a daily basis, to include the loudspeakers, the psychological warfare that they have been carrying out, as well as the fact that they have continued to not allow the proper degree of medical treatment for the Ashraf residents. And then, of course, we all watched the Maliki-controlled troops as they attacked or slaughtered and injured the unarmed residents of the Camp Ashraf. We either need to send a new ambassador with moral courage who understands America's prior commitments, or we need better oversight and guidance from Washington for that ambassador. Equally appalling to me is the fact that when you look at the fact that we have not used the tools of our national power to make sure that the Ashraf residents were provided proper medical treatment is absolutely astonishing. We should not forget that the MEK is the best organized, it is the most formidable opposition to the current Iranian regime. It has challenged the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism for the past 32 years. And to me, it is the MEK that provides hope for the current Iranian people. It provides a degree of hope that far exceeds anything else that we here in the United States or our allies can offer short of direct intervention. When you look at the 10-point program, a human rights platform published by President-elect Mrs. Rajavi, which emphasizes the same religious and gender freedoms that are emphasized and advocated by the U.S. Department of State, to me, it makes it a no-brainer. Just how dumb can Ambassador Jeffries or anyone else be to ask an organization of this type to disband itself when all over the world we are supporting groups who stand against ruling dictators that are far less a threat to the United States than the Iranian regime, and in fact dictators that were considered friends of the U.S. in some cases. Why would we not want to put the weight and power of this country behind an organization that we know stands for the same principles that we stand for, and that is the best organized, best led organization to take on the current Iranian regime? It just doesn't make sense. My recommendation would be, first and foremost, take the MEK off the list. Secondly, we need to remember that the Ashraf residents are part of the group that the United States recognized as protected citizens under the Fourth Geneva Convention, and that we ourselves provided protection for 6 years. Third, we need to pressure the Iraqis to stop all harassment and suppressive measures against the Ashraf residents today. Fourth, given that the Ashraf residents have accepted relocation as an option, we should let the Iraqis know in no uncertain terms, and by that I mean use maybe some what I would characterize as coercive diplomacy, that forcible displacement inside Iraq is totally unacceptable. We should use the tools of our national power, particularly our diplomatic and our economic tools, to ensure that the Iraqis live up to the commitments that we made to the Ashraf residents if we are not going to do it ourselves. Fifth, we in the United States should step up to our responsibilities and guarantee temporary protection to the residents of Ashraf until they are resettled in third countries.